Welcome to Everybody Studios. I'm your host, Meredith Dean, for Everybody in Charlotte, where we bring on incredible community leaders. And of course, we had to bring in Ricky Singh with us. He is an artist, a community leader, and so many other titles, but also just a wonderful friend. And I'm thrilled to have you in today.
Awesome.
You're honestly the best. You've been supporting so many different causes for so long in Charlotte, but also a supporter too of me and my own company. And I'm just so grateful for you being such an advocate for so many different human beings in Charlotte, but beyond. I would love to hear just if you could start dropping all the different things that you do in the city,
Yeah.
and then also how people can support you in those efforts.
Yeah. So one of the founding leaders of Charlotte Lab School, you could obviously check them out. And then right now, I am the executive director of My Brother's Keeper, Charlotte-Mecklenburg, with the Obama Foundation. So we support not only Charlotte Lab, but many other schools around the district, around the city and county.
And explain more about what you guys do.
Yeah. So My Brother's Keeper is a nonprofit organization that focuses on serving Charlotte youth, specifically boys and young men of color, 12 to 24. But we're really meant to be a backbone agency. So we're not heavy into programming. We help to identify best practices for youth and then incubate it, right? So you think about what a small business incubator would be, but that for nonprofits. So we help to we do a lot of dot connecting, streamlining efforts. Just finished up my first year as ED about a couple weeks ago. So that was
Very
good.
proud of you.
Yes. But it's been amazing. I mean, this year, I was just telling somebody yesterday, I've been able, being out of a principal seat, I've been able to do things this year that I've never been able to do, like make breakfast and lunch.
That's
My
actually
kids.
huge. Yes.
Yeah, I dropped them off to school. I go to like dental appointments now. And,
It's
yeah, just
amazing. It's like the basic things, but you don't have
Yeah,
time when
yeah.
you have all these different things going on.
No. So I've been able to do that for my kids this past year. So I
And you're going to
find
be a grandpa.
I know I am going to be a grandpa, which is exciting.
Yay.
Yes, going to be a grandpa December. Yeah, lots of development. It's crazy I'm going to be a grandpa. And then I'm an artist, creative, on Saturdays and Sundays right now. I do a lot of curating. I don't know. I just think I'm a resource. I get calls all day to help to connect things or to think through something.
You're a bridge builder, but you also, what I love is, I feel like you just immediately say yes, or how can we do this?
Yes.
Which
Yeah.
is amazing. But at the same time, how are you able to balance a lot of those things in your own mental health and taking care of yourself? Because you are such an amazing
Yeah.
yes man for so many people. How do you say yes to yourself?
I think I still struggle with that part. I definitely think of myself last. How does it all work? I'm big on like project management. So I have a very like crazy calendar,
Mm-hmm. Oh, yeah.
the way it looks, and system. And I use this app called ClickUp. And I've been using it for about 8 years now. And it helped-
ClickUp.
Yeah.
What is that?
It's like a project management app, but it helps me like keep everything in its own buckets and my calendar in the same way.
Yeah.
Um,
It's so smart. Okay, ClickUp. I'm always looking for different things that will help me. Asana is another really good one.
Asana, yeah, it's similar in nature, but like it's like like
Oh, okay. It's got different colors. I feel like I need
colors,
color
like,
coding for sure.
yes, heavy on that. And then like I was telling you, like I think at this point now, starting to think about how to build out a good supportive team as things
Yeah.
become to continue to scale. And I feel like every year it's gotten more and more, which is a blessing.
Definitely.
So figuring out how to like just continue to hit it on the head a little bit.
And maybe an assistant. So you might be
Yes,
looking for one of those,
yes.
everyone, if you would want to be this incredible man's assistant. But also, I love that you're wearing your Charlotte native shirt.
Yes.
So I want to hear what you think that maybe Charlotte needs more of, or maybe, something that you think makes Charlotte one of the best cities, if not the best city.
Yeah. I think Charlotte needs more of opportunities for like curiosity. I think about like the mentor meetups you do at Queens, where like the intended goal isn't like someone walks out with a job, but the intended goal is that people just build with each other. So I think any opportunities that just allow like natural space to connect with people, I think the more the better. I think about Michaela's Binters, makers and creators, and just like those opportunities to just have space to not have to worry about an end goal. Um, I mean, I'm originally from New York City. I would never move back. Charlotte is my favorite city. I just think it's easier to do things. I don't
I
know.
totally agree with that because I moved from New York City
Yeah,
too.
I just think it's
And
easier.
you can build whatever you want here, and because it's a new novel idea, a lot of people actually wanna jump on it
Yeah,
and support
yeah,
versus saying, "What is that?" And it's not too saturated.
yeah, yeah. I think some markets get busy, but like I think the city I'm finding has been full of people that's willing to be curious with you. And that
Yes.
is really what a lot of the things that I end up doing, it starts with like, are you willing to be curious? And like, what if we did that? What would happen? Right.
Mhm.
A good example of that is where last year we started the youth residency at the Gantt Center. And that was just me coming to them with an idea in May. And then we ran it from September to March, and it was amazing. Um, so we're coming back for year 2. So now it's actually part of the museum. But
That's
again, that
huge.
started from an idea about like, what would it look like for cultural institutions to create space for youth that wasn't just them viewing art or exhibits?
And
Um,
I love that you have this
yeah.
broadcast channel too on Instagram where
Yes.
you
Oh my
have,
God.
you have so many opportunities for youth. And I don't know anyone else that's doing that in the way that
Yeah.
you are. And it's amazing what kind of opportunities come your way.
I'm
I think
still,
about even Adidas,
yeah,
right?
yeah. I'm still trying to figure out like so I think that started because I would get these opportunities and I'm like, man, how do I try to treat opportunities like hot potatoes. I don't want to hold on to it and I want to get it out like as fast as I can.
Hmm.
So I thought of the podcast channel, and it's been working well. People take out, it works. Um, I'm not like torn because like I don't think people need another app. So I was like, we're just gonna stick with this channel. But yeah, I mean, I think we have a Charlotte Creative one that I use. I know Charlotte is Creative has one now. But just trying to get opportunities out as fast as I can, and it stretches from again like Jordan campaigns to New Balance to internship opportunities. But yeah, trying to get it out as fast as we can, so we're not holding it.
And I want to also touch on Beatty's Ford. I mean,
Yeah,
you've done
yeah,
so many different things for that area, and I'd love to hear about murals and all the things that you've done.
yeah. So we started the Beatty's Forge Strong movement in COVID 2020,
Hmm.
and I think it still continues to build every year with more murals coming up there. And I think it started from this notion that art has the power to heal. And it was right after that the massacre on Catherine Simmons. Um, but since then, more artists have been pouring back on the Ford. You have Archive CLT now that's over there, the coffee shop, and other developers. Chris Dennis, who I'm meeting with at 3 o'clock, is I would say like in the notion of buying back the block, right? So buying portions of the West Side and reinvigorating it.
Hmm.
Jatani Adams, I think, just bought a whole shopping center. I think I just saw. So Historic West End Partners is doing a lot of that work, but those two individuals, Chris Dennis, Jatani Adams, and I would probably say Charles Thomas with Knight Foundation, I think are really the role models in that space about innovating. Um, I just see myself and probably many others as like a piece of the puzzle, but continuing to drive it and just bring a heritage to the West Side,
I love it.
a pride, um,
Absolutely.
which is exciting. So it's a lot. It's a lot to keep in my head.
But and that's the thing is, there's we could literally talk for like 3 hours about what
Yeah.
your resume looks like and all the different projects and the things you've done for so many people.
Uh,
What is maybe a piece of advice that you got when you were younger and you're now such an amazing mentor to others? But was there something that a mentor said to you in your past that has kind of stuck with you?
I don't. I wasn't the best youth, so I don't. So I wouldn't say that like I had someone that would impart. You know what? I did. My first person I would probably call a mentor was my global studies teacher, and he caught me in high school. I caught my attention to kind of help straighten up a little bit. And I don't really remember much about what he said. I remember distinctively scoring 100 on a test, and he refused to give me 100 because he said
Really?
he doesn't. Yeah, he said the world doesn't like hundreds don't exist in the real world. So maybe I would say that. So every
Wow.
time I scored 100, you just give me a 99, and it was probably the hardest class I ever took. Even from college, I have 2 master's degrees. That ninth grade global studies course is the hardest class I ever took. It's actually the most energy I probably spent into something as a youth. And even when I was getting those hundreds, it was 99s. So I would say that lesson around like there is no perfection, right? There's always room to iterate. That's sort of what I take from it. But I've been toying around with this other thing about like, we've been pouring into um, mentees, 20-year-olds around the city and county through your meetups and just throughout other places. And one of the things I've figured out is like, there's like 2 kinds of people in this world. There's probably more, but this is sort of how I'm seeing it. There's like people that can like start a race and kind of like flare out. And then there's people that would just drag something to the finish line. I'm definitely like a drag it to the finish line person.
Mm.
Like no matter what,
It will get to the
it's
finish
going to
line.
get to the finish line, no matter what, right? So helping this next generation of Charlotteans understand that part of like, what does it look like to drag something to the finish line? Um, and to not let, some of that is like not letting titles prevent you from doing something because you have a perception that you're above it, right?
Yeah.
Like sometimes people get to that stage. I'm the opposite. That's the feedback I hear is like there's things I probably shouldn't be doing, but I'm willing to do.
Right.
But I think that's that mentality of like we're just gonna get it done.
I love that. And when you
Yeah.
have that in your head, it's kind of like manifesting too. You're like,
Yeah.
we're going to get this done. So
Yeah.
it will happen.
Yeah. Yeah. So one example of that I was telling you earlier is our organization, My Brother's Keeper, is have a strategic partnership with Northeastern University, the Charlotte campus, and they're getting ready to start it to roll out. But we have a press release probably going to come out. Free speech language therapy for anyone in the county, birth to elderly, no questions asked.
Wow.
So no billing, no any of that stuff.
That's
Yeah,
huge.
virtual and in person on campus.
Wow.
Um, and I'm even, as an educator, I know about the benefits of speech language therapy, but I'm learning about all these other things, right? Like um, how a baby latches on actually is an indicator of speech, or the elderly that are going through strokes or Alzheimer's and how they can be retaught certain ways to communicate. So
Wow.
excited to kind of be sharing that and for that to start to roll out for this year.
That's huge. And how can
Yeah.
we support all these different efforts that you have going on? Is there an
Um,
ask in particular that you need?
no, follow me on Instagram. Just tap in. I think that's usually like, just tap in when you feel like you see something you're passionate about, or if you want to donate your time. But that's it. I mean, and then see what I share. I try to share and post about different community partners and folks around our city. So continuing to pour love into that.
I love it. And I'm so grateful for all you've done to
Yeah.
help 20 under 20, the award ceremony
It's
for
year 4.
14 to 19-year-olds.
That's
Yes, it's year
crazy.
4.
That's
It's
crazy.
wild. Governor and mayor have supported the program, but couldn't have done
Awesome.
it without your support on the selection committee. And
Yeah.
I feel really hopeful about our future right now. And a lot of it is just because of youth and Charlotte youth.
Yeah.
And I know you get to see all those light bulb moments.
Yeah, it's happening. I mean, Lab just had their first graduating class go in. So you had
What?
kids call me from Howard and all these campuses moved in. And some of them 20 under 20, right? One of the first 20 under 20 from Lab, Trey Curtin, he's
Mm-hmm.
actually going to Chapel Hill, but his
Stop.
first semester is going to be spent in Costa Rica, which is crazy to me.
Wow.
Yeah.
That's huge. What a way to start.
Yeah.
Man.
So he goes, I think, mid-September, Costa Rica. And I'm like, that's insane. But you think about the
It's
opportunity.
incredible.
Yeah. I mean, it's amazing what our youth are doing in our city and like finding ways to take advantage of the opportunities and people that are willing to support them, like you guys.
And like you.
Yeah.
Well,
Awesome.
you're amazing. Once
Appreciate it.
again, every single week we bring in these incredible humans like Ricky. Make sure that you're following him on social media at
Mr. Ricky Singh.
There we
There
go.
we go.
So make sure that you're following him, and also if you're interested in hosting your own podcast, you can do that here at Everybody Studios. It is the best place for your creative projects and podcasting. We'll see you guys next week. Once again, I'm Meredith Dean, your host. Thanks for watching.